if you were willing to hold me and run your fingers through my hair and tell me what you appreciate about me? What if that's all you ever got from me or your partner or your lover or your friends or your coworkers? Like, what if all of us got to that level that all of us ever got from the other people we allowed in our life? Do you think the patterns would keep cycling? Or do you think us actually pointing out their side of the pattern is what's keeping this pattern cycling? Hi, I'm Christopher John Stubbs, founder of the Wolf Pack, where we are committed to being the highest level providers, protectors, husbands, fathers, and successful businessmen that we are capable of being, so that we can provide the type of future we want for ourselves, for our loved ones, and to hand off a future to our children that we feel great about. And if you haven't joined our free Wolfpack Facebook community, do so now. Look in the description or the comments below and you'll see a link. Click it. It's free. We got lots of value to add to you. So we'll see you there. One of my all-time favorite books is Love Without Conditions by Paul Ferrini, Reflections of the Christ Mind. He says, how could a broken person fix themselves? The more you try to fix yourselves, the further you fragment yourself. And so every aspect of you that thinks, once I do enough healing and, I attend another course and I get some more coaching and maybe I just need this other modality. And how many modalities have you chased? But if you could just decide every moment from now on, every time you catch yourself, judging yourself, trying to fix yourself, blaming yourself, trying to even improve yourself. Like one of the statements they had us make, a commitment at the Hendrix was, I commit to making my self-love project bigger than my self-improvement project. And they talked about a therapist, I don't remember his name right now, but he identified that couples who gave 5 appreciations to every 1 complaint always had successful marriages, and couples who gave 5 complaints to every 1 appreciation almost pretty much always never had successful relationships. So that one factor he could determine. Now, if we turn that back on ourselves, when you say something like, oh my gosh, when are you going to get this control freak thing over done with? Oh my gosh, when are you going to get over your perfectionist self? Oh my gosh, when are you going to get your anger issues under control? Are you not in judgment and complaint and blame and projection and attack and fixing? But if you went instead, I'm angry right now. What is it that I'm needing? I need some time. I need some space. I need to breathe. I need to honor myself. I need to feel respected. And I don't need someone to do that for me. I'm the source of my own honor, my own respect, my own attention, my own well-being, my own love, my own safety, my own joy, my own peace, my own everything. I'm the source of my own everything. So what do I need to do to give myself, identify what I need right now and give it to myself? We're not trying to get rid of the personas. We're simply loosening the grip of the personas. And if you imagine yourself, you're driving a bus and the bus is filled with maybe 50 personas of all the different flavors of who shows up in your life within yourself to kind of take over in the situation. Sometimes the perfectionist, sometimes the skeptic, sometimes the know-it-all. Sometimes the shy one, sometimes the rebel. Instead of trying to get rid of any of them, what if you found the essence of each one of those personas and you became the director of which one gets to play when? Like, I enjoy letting my perfectionist come out to play when I'm making pico de gallo salsa, because if it's done just right, it is immaculate. Or when I'm cooking that perfect ribeye steak, I love to let my perfectionist come out to play. I'll go spend $100 on $120 on a freaking tomahawk steak. You bet your ass I'm going to do that perfect. I'm not going to mess up that $120 steak, and I'm going to enjoy every minute of it. right? So if we didn't need to get rid of any aspect of ourselves, instead we were bringing love and compassion to every aspect of self, patience, understanding, grace. We're receiving and embracing every aspect of self, the sad one, the scared one, the angry one, the timid one, the strong one, the bold one, the intense one, the passionate one, the weak one, the tender one, the gentle one, all of it. And we just stop judging and fixing ourselves. The work I'm doing right now is moving beyond everything we've learned about. Essentially, it's like if I were to give a formula that I've developed over the years after studying all the relationships things and all the communication things, it would be that listening is the number one thing in relationships. And if I were to give the formula, it'd be something like you consciously listen by acknowledging what they said, what they feel, and what they want. The next step would be to take 100% account, validate that those are all valid, take accountability for the role you played in them having that experience, giving them compassion for what it must feel like to be in their shoes, doing like a ho'oponopono, not completely like where they feel like you're being a therapist or a robot, but like, hey, I am sorry. I acknowledge I did that and you feel this way, and that's not my intent. I'm so sorry. Then speaking compassionately to their inner child and helping their inner child feel heard in relation to all this, identifying the needs of theirs that aren't being met and how you desire to help them meet them. And then what I used to think is that then because I did that for them, they needed to turn around and do all that for me. And now I'm going, no, if I'm sovereign, I serve and give with no strings attached. I source all of that for myself. I do whatever it takes to be in my wholeness and feel amazing all the time. And the only thing I voice, and what I would do when I would have them return the favor and do all that same stuff for me when I thought that's what needed to happen, and then it rarely did, and then I would be pissed, was then I would feel the strong urge that I needed to point out to them all the rules of consciousness that they had violated so that we wouldn't stay stuck in this pattern. Because if I could educate and show them how they did this, and this, and they addressed their part, that I just took accountability for mine. Now, if I can get them to take accountability for theirs and see what they're not seeing, then we can change this thing. Well, guess what? What I'm discovering is they're already their inner worst critic. And every time I point out the pattern that they're doing, I'm furthering the wounding of them thinking that's another thing I need to fix. And if instead I became so sovereign and whole that I don't need to tell them what they're doing, I don't need to complain, I don't need to blame, I don't need to project, I don't need to coach them, I don't need to help them see what they're not seeing that I think I'm seeing, because really, I'm probably not actually seeing it accurately, because we don't see the world the way it is, we see it the way we are. And pretty much everything I'm saying that you're doing is just a projection of what I'm doing, because you're just me and I'm just you. And I couldn't see it in you unless it was in me, because if you spot it, you got it. And so even if they are doing it, it's none of my business. But then the fear comes. If I don't voice this, then I'm just going to be subject to this shit forever. Not true. That's the subconscious program. The truth is, my job isn't to tell them what they're doing. That doesn't work. My job is to communicate my needs. So now the average person, their partner comes to them or someone in their life comes to them and voices their concerns. They defend and justify and gaslight and whatever. That'd be your average relationship. Now you get in a conscious relationship and they hear you, they acknowledge you, they take accountability, they have openness to learning, they communicate unarguably, they do all the moves, except once they're done, they turn around and point out to you, yeah, but what you weren't open to learning, you didn't speak unarguably, you've been repeating the pattern, and your side of the 100% responsibility is this, and this. So you probably all know what that feels like, right? You've probably been that person or the other side where you did that or had it done to you. Now try on how it feels this way. You came to me. You voiced some concerns or some frustrations or feelings or desires or whatever. I empathize, I hear you, I acknowledge what you're saying, I acknowledge what you're feeling, I acknowledge what you're wanting. I take accountability for what I contributed to it. I give you compassion for what it feels like to go through that. I help you identify your needs, and we have a conversation about how we're going to meet those needs. And then if I feel like my needs aren't being met, all I said was, and it's important to me that we both feel respected, honored, valued, appreciated, and loved. And what I'm realizing is that I've been uncentered and that I need more time and space to take care of myself. And so I plan to communicate with you what I'm going to do to take care of myself. How quick do you think it'd take you to come home and start treating me the same way if never I came to you and reacted, blew up, blamed, projected, attacked, criticized, coached, fixed? If all I did was model for you that whatever you bring to me, I will bring you love and compassion and understanding and empathy and hearing and seeing and feeling and empathizing and compassion and all the things, and then all you ever heard from me was what I needed and what I was going to do for myself to give it to myself, and at the very most, a direct request like, and I would love it if you were willing to hold me and run your fingers through my hair and tell me what you appreciate about me. What if that's all you ever got from me, or your partner, or your lover, or your friends, or your coworkers, or anyone? Like, what if all of us got to that level, that that's all anyone ever got, all of us ever got from the other people we allowed in our life? Do you think the patterns would keep cycling? Or do you think us actually pointing out their side of the pattern is what's keeping this pattern cycling? All right, I hope you enjoyed that video. We've got more to come. Again, if you haven't joined our free community of men who are committed to being the best versions of ourselves and thriving in our health, our spirituality, our relationships, our finances, our parenting, our sex lives, and for creating a future that we are very excited for our children to take over for us. So if you haven't yet, join us in the Wolf Pack. The link is in the description below.